try.
Oh, what about the
Down
red
now. On the rebound, and Valdo's going to run away and score a magnificent try.
Rupeni Caucaunibuca, regarded one of the best wingers to have ever played the game. This is the story of the boy who went from one of the world's most remote villages to becoming an international rugby star. I'm Dan Leo, former Samoa Rugby International, now Director of the Pacific Rugby Players Welfare Organisation. In 2018, I set out to make a film about the game we love, the journeys behind some of those who play it, and what future the Pacific Islands have in the modern world. This is the Oceans Apart series, and these are our stories. I'd first met Rupeni in 2006 while representing the Pacific Islanders, a combined team of players from Tonga, Samoa and Fiji. With no explanation as to why, Rupeni had arrived on that tour 2 weeks late, played in one game and then disappeared the next day without a trace. So I was as surprised as anyone when Rupeni showed up for this interview, on time and at least a stone lighter than when I'd seen him last 13 years ago. So what was this man's story? And how was it that the life of one of rugby's most recognisable names was still such a mystery?
For me, it's a long story. You know, I left school early. I always stay in the village. I do everything in the village. It's not like you live in town, like you pay your house or your rent, pay the water, the electricity. There you live a life like you want to do whatever you want to do every day. Like if you want to go farming, you go. If not, you just relax, staying home. It's a life like that. We live in the small house. I got 4 sisters, me and my brother. We struggle every day, and I try to find something like for me and my family to live, to stay in one big house. So I decided to play rugby.
With no professional rugby pathway in the Pacific, Rupeni had no option but to leave his family and village in Fiji behind. After debuting for Fiji in 2003, he arrived to Northland in New Zealand's provincial championship, where he quickly set the world alight.
Rupeni, oh, he makes it look so easy.
Here he is, Rupeni Caucaunibuca. He's going to have Larkham on, beats him easily on the inside. Oh, this is brilliant. Helmet. Rupeni again. Oh, what can't he do?
Off the field, however, Rupeni had his own challenges, as he struggled coming to grips with both a new language and culture.
So when I come to New Zealand, it's funny. I can't even speak English. That's true. I only understand yes, no, come, go. When I speak, even though we had a meeting, the team meeting, Northland, they asked me, can you say something? I shake my head like that. Because I know myself, I can speak English. But I forget about that. I just need to go to find money. Because I want to live one, to make example for my family. It's first time too for me. I didn't see that kind of money. I only see $5, $2. But when I arrived in New Zealand, I started to see $100, $500, $1,000. And my feelings start to, I want to play and playing hard. to live a good life after that rugby. Yeah? And then I get picked for Auckland Blues. And I signed the contract. First thing I do, I build one house. My auntie named it for Auckland, the name of that house. So my dad didn't know that I built that house. I didn't tell him. I built the house, I finished the house. That house, it's 5-bedroom with kitchen and everything, toilet, bathroom. When I finished the house and I go to see my dad and I tell him, hey, I built one new house for you. When he look at me, he start to cry. And then I moved to France. I see a lot of things because I didn't know that I'm gonna flying in the plane around the world, only for my rugby boots.
Signing with Agen, Rupeni took French rugby by storm, scoring tries effortlessly and seemingly at will whenever he took the field. But while in France, Rupeni was gaining a reputation for going missing and hiding from his club, often returning back for pre-season unfit, overweight, and at times weeks, even months late.
Because my life is like that. It's like it's normal for me, but for professionalism, it's not good. Because I grow up in the village. In school, I don't like school. I used to run away. Because I know I'm not good in school, I'm only good in rugby. In my village, I grew up in my village, and if someone speak, I can understand. But in France, when someone speak, I try to ask my friend, hey, what did he say? Because they only speak French. It's hard. When you ask someone, can you speak English to me? And I say, no, when you're in France, you have to speak French. So, but I learned French. I learned how to speak French.
To see his family, Rupeni had to travel 3 days to his village, and with no phone service available, communication with the outside world was difficult.
It's not easy to come to my village. The road, even when it's raining, I have to walk from there. It's 15 kilometers from my village to the main road. It's very hard. So, live in the village, your friends or your relatives, it's sometimes make me, I don't want to go back. Because I live in the village, everything is there. But sometimes when you in France, when you don't have money, it's very hard to ask someone like your neighbors or anything. But in the village, if you don't have any money, you can still you're still alive, because you can borrow from your next or your neighbors, and everything too there. You don't need to buy anything. You just plant, farm. Fishing, you don't need to buy. You just go and diving or like that. No one like teach you when I start. Like no one teach me when I started, because straight from my village, and I end up in a big rugby star in 1 year. From my village to Suva to Fiji team, and then New Zealand in 1 year. And no one like teach me how to do this, do that.
After missing a series of games, including one against the All Blacks, the Fijian Union took the drastic step of banning arguably their best player for a period of 12 months. To make things worse, in 2010, after a third unexplained absence, his club Agen decided to tear up his contract.
Sometimes when I standing on the other side, this side, and I look on the other side, like looking about myself, I think that is wrong, because I have to running around hide from these guys there or the club. and that is not good. I'm not. I supposed to. I'm not allowed to do that. When I was playing, they always pay me $1,000. Eh? Like you can see $1,000 every day. But I just use it for nothing. I spend it for drinking and helping people. And from now, I stop rugby, international rugby. I find it hard because at home I don't work. There's no business. Just living in the village, farming, and I regret I should keep a few $100,000 for after rugby, but it's late, too late. Eh? I already spent it all for nothing. Eh?
For Pacific rugby players' welfare, Rupeni's experiences are important for the players that are coming through today.
For them, they have to learn for like our mistake, eh? Because we spending. Like after your rugby, you keep nothing. Eh? But for them, if they want to live a good life after rugby, they have to keep the money. No, for me, it's better all the old players for the Pacific to talk for the boys, for the young boys now. Because if we leave it to the middlemen, they can use them. Eh? He didn't know because he just started rugby. But for me, it's better, Leo, that we teach them how to use their money and how to spend it. And then when they finish their rugby, they have the money to do their business or anything like after rugby.
Today, Pacific Islanders provide over 20% of the world's professional rugby players. Rupeni's story highlights the need for the sport's governing bodies and professional clubs to take the welfare of Pacific players seriously, enabling them to integrate with the modern game while still having opportunities to maintain links with their villages and families. And now with a young family himself, Rupeni hopes to be able to offer the support to his son, which he himself didn't have.
He's 11 years old now, but in their school, he's playing in year 11, but they play against the year 14. But when they give him the ball, they try to catch him. No one catch him because he's like he's dead. So I'm happy now because he's growing fast, and he's gonna be a good rugby player and better than me and faster than me.
Had the right support been available to him, I can't help but wonder if Rupeni's story could have perhaps turned out very differently. And at Pacific Rugby Players Welfare, we are committed to providing him the skills and support he needs to set up a sustainable business from his village. To help give Rupeni a second chance, please donate through the Just Giving link provided. Together we, the Rugby Family, can rewrite this legendary player's story, giving it the kind of ending it truly deserves.
Now, here's trouble. Zeldau. Unbelievable. Logan is coming across, but give it to Zeldau.
White magic at Aussie Stadium as they polish his boots.